Hello and welcome to Thought for August the 2nd. Our readings are 2 Samuel chapter 19, Jeremiah chapter 23 and Romans chapters 10 and 11. And our thought is, God has the power to graft them in again. Chapter 11 of the letter to Romans starts with the question, has God rejected his people? The answer is, by no means. This question was being asked because the Jewish people had killed God's Son, and their chief priest had declared, "We have no king but Caesar," in John chapter 19 verse 15. So it was a reasonable question to ask. Paul says that at the present time there is a remnant chosen by grace, verse 5, and Paul was one of them. But he also sees that at a future time, they, if they do not continue in their unbelief, will be grafted in, for God has the power to graft them in again, verse 23. And that the Gentiles should not be arrogant toward the natural branches, verse 18. Then Paul declares that a partial hardening has come upon Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in, verse 25. In chapter 10, also our reading today, Paul praises those who preach the good news, and that their voice has gone out to all the earth, and their words to the ends of the world, verse 15 and 18. Words he quoted from Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 7, and the Psalms 19 verse 4. God's words have now reached the ends of the world, as far as we can tell. All the Gentiles have now heard. Printed copies are now available in every language. What we also read today in Jeremiah will soon take place. Indeed, it is in process now. God said, "I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries where I have driven them, and I will bring them back to my fold, and they shall be fruitful and multiply. I will set shepherds over them who will care for them, and they shall fear no more." Chapter 23 verses 3 and 4. The prophet is also caused to write of the time when the Lord looks to see who has paid attention to his word and listen. The anger of the Lord will not turn back until he has executed and accomplished the intents of his heart. In the latter days you will understand it clearly, he says, verses 18 and verse 23. Let us make sure we pay attention to his word, and that our attention affects the way we decide to live our lives. We ignore or pollute his word at our peril. Let us always be conscious of the power God has. Well, thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the Word of God, knowing that Word to be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.